Yo, what up mga kaibigan? This is Flick G at good morning sa inyo. Vimanyans, yan ha. Isa na naman makabuluhang araw mga kaibigan ng Webes at halin at manood at makaisa sa pagsagot ng mga gawain sa mga paksa sa asignaturang araling panlipunan. Napakahalaga niya ha. Ayan, understanding culture, society, and politics. Sobrang halaga niyan lalo na pag tumanda kayo. Alam niyo makakatulong sa buhay niyo sa buhay ng lahat ng tao sa paligid niyo. Sobrang halaga kaya tutukan niyo to. At matuto at mag-enjoy kasama ang inyong guro. Kasi Julius O. Kapalungan. Ayan. At ano pang hinihintay niyo? Ayan, mga bata, Vimanyans, manood na. Display Gipars. Peace.
Good morning, Vimanyans. It's Thursday again and it's time for our Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. For our Week 7 topic is about socialization. For our recap, one of the earliest states and civilizations was found in the Fertile Crescent, which is known as the Mesopotamian civilization. The word Mesopotamia is a Greek word for land between two rivers, which is often referred to as the cradle of civilization. It is the region of the Western Asia located between the Tigris and Euphrates River. It is known as the Fertile Crescent where the first evidence of agriculture was also found. Here, the first human civilizations were taking the earliest steps from the hunter-gatherer society into settled community. One of the first writing systems, the cuneiform, is one of the most important civilizations in the history of Mesopotamian culture. Every city in Mesopotamia had its own government, rulers, warriors, patron god, and functioned like an independent country. Egyptians called their king a pharaoh. The pharaoh was all-powerful. He passed laws. He ruled the country. He owned most of the land. And he controlled trade and led the armies. Egyptians believed that the pharaohs were gods. In the European continent, several states and civilizations grew tremendously over centuries. In England, around 1500s, most of the people lived in small villages. They paid tithes to their feudal landlords. Henry VII won the War of the Roses in England, which led into what is known as the Tudor dynasty, and began the development of the English nation-state. In Spain, in the year 1492, Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella took Spain back from the Muslim. It became the era of Spain as a global power. In France, Louis XIV of France created an absolute monarchy. France became the dominant power in Europe. When the French Revolution broke out, it created the modern French nation-state, which sparked nationalism around Europe. In 1914, the various nation-states started to claim their power and superiority over all the nations in the world. The World War I began until 1918. In 1919, Treaty of Versailles ended the World War I. It divided several multinational empires that led to the creation of several new nation-states. In 1939, the World War II started until 1945. The end of World War II led to the formation of United Nations in 1945. The state of the people, democratic state, in the recent decade after the two world wars, people are becoming more active in their government and state affairs, in which people become the source of political power and government rules. This evolution in the government is known as the process of democratization, or simply democracy, the rule of the people. Democratization is a transition to a more democratic political regime, including substantive political changes moving in a democratic direction. It may be the transition for an authoritarian regime to a full democracy, a transition from an authoritarian political system to a semi-democracy, or transition from a semi-authoritarian political system to a democratic political system. Democracy is a form of government where the citizens of the nation have the power to vote. There are several different types of democracies. Number one, a representative democracy is a system where citizens choose government representatives among their citizens. Number two, direct democracy is when the citizens form a governing body and vote directly on issues. And number three, constitutional democracy limits the powers of government through the nation's constitution. And for our week 7 topic, it is about socialization. After going through this module, you are expected to, number 1, identify the concepts and aspects of socialization. Number 2, identify the concepts and aspects of enculturation. Number 3, determine the connection between the agents of socialization and enculturation to the development of an individual. And number 4, value the significance of socialization and enculturation to the development of oneself. Before we proceed to our lesson, let us have an activity. So take a look at the image below and consider everything that forms the image. What is represented by each icon? So class, I will give you 1 minute to answer or comment down your comment, or you answer to our comment section below, and your timer starts now. Okay, if your answer to all of the questions are yes, then congratulations, you are now ready to create a real-life situations, the learning you had on socialization. Be proud, for you are a step closer toward success. Okay, so alam naman natin, napaka-importante o napakahalaga ng socialization sa ating buhay. So without socialization, hindi mamomold or hindi mabubuo yung ating pagkatao. No? So beware lang sa pag-socialize, no? So dapat tinitignan natin or sinusort natin yung tama at mali na na-adapt or na-absorb natin sa ating society. So dapat alam natin i-distinguish yung right and wrong, yung tama at mali, dahil hindi lahat ng nakikita, na-experience natin through socialization ay tama. So may mga mali na hindi dapat i-adapt or hindi dapat gawin. So dapat masosort or isort na natin yan, no? Yung right and wrong na na-experiences natin through socialization. Okay, congratulations, Vimanians. You are now ready to create a real-life situations, the learning you had on our week 7 topic, socialization. Before we end our discussion, I would like to leave you these two quotations. Sometimes, it's just a great opportunity to socialize. So, tandaan, Vimanians, no, that socialization is an opportunity, no? It depends on the person that we are mingling or socializing. Just make sure na yung mga tao na nakakasalamuha natin, no, ay makatutulong sa pagmold or sa pagbuo ng ating pagkatao. Make sure na meron tayong na-observe, no, na magagandang gawi or magagandang bagay dun sa mga tao na nakakasalamuha natin. Just to turn socialization into opportunity, no? Dapat maging logical and reasonable yung ating socialization. In fact, the socialization gives us the tool to fill our evolutionary roles. They are our building blocks. So just to remember and to recall our agent of socialization, no? So dito papasok yung ating family, school, church, community, our friends, and the government. They are our building blocks for our evolutionary roles or yung ating socialization or dito nabubuo yung ating personality by means of socializing with the agent of our socialization, yung mga nabanggit at napag-aralan natin kanina. Okay? So, our evolutionary roles as an individual, no, ay binubuo or bumubuo ng mga agent of socialization. So, hindi masama makipag-socialize as long as ina-adapt natin, no, yung mga magaganda na nakikita natin sa pakikipag socialization or interaction sa mga or makakasalamuha natin. So just make sure na nasusort yung magaganda at hindi magaganda. Ina-adapt natin yung magagandang gawi na na-encounter natin through socialization at hindi naman natin ina-adapt or hindi natin ginagawa, no, yung mga hindi magaganda or yung mga pangit na experiences or yung mga gawi, no, na nakikita natin through socialization. So that ends our topic for our week 7. For the meantime, wala muna tayong Google form for our assessment and reflection at gagawin na natin ito every half of our topic every quarter. For example, we have week 1 to 8 for second quarter. Magkakaroon tayo ng Google form, no, for our week 1 to 4 halimbawa. Then, for week 5 to 8, saka lang ulit tayo magkakaroon ng panibagong Google form sa atin. No? So, i-compress natin yung assessment from week 1 to 4 and reflection and for week 5 to 8 for assessment and reflection. So, that's all, Vimanians. Sana ay may natutunan, i-adapt natin kung ano man yung ating natututunan and sana may natutunan tayo ngayong araw na ito. So, let's call it a day and have a nice day and God bless.